Alright guys, so in today's video I'm going to be showing you exactly how to connect the MySQL database with the Android Studio, right, and your system. Alright, so if you want to know how to connect the MySQL database with this with Android Studio and your system, watch this video step by step, because that's exactly what I'm going to be showing you in today's video. All right, so what you need to know before we begin is that it's very important you watch this video till the end. It is very important you watch this video to the end before taking any action, so that you're not going to make any mistake. All right, so that's what you're going to do. Watch this video till the end so that you're not going to make any mistake. So with that being said, let's get right into the video. I've listed out different steps, 14 steps to be specific, on how we are actually going to connect the MySQL database with the Android Studio and system. All right, so we are going to be walking through all of them step by step to successfully do it. So the first thing we're going to do is obviously to install the XAMPP, right, the XAMPP, as if you call it that. So if you don't know how to install the XAMPP, right, if you have it, then we just continue. But if you don't have it, just come over and just type in. If you want to install it, just come over and just come here and type in this. It's called Apache, right? ApacheFriends.org, right? ApacheFriends.org, or others call it apacfriends.com. However, it's just APACHE, then friends, then join together, and .org. Super simple. Come here and then you go down below. This is basically where you actually download the software. All right, the XAMPP software is very important. Come here and download the Windows if you're using the Windows. If you're also using the Linux, come here and download the Linux version. If you're using the an iOS, right, if you're using an OS, come here and download the OS. So whichever one works for your device, just select that one and then download and install if you don't have it. Okay, so that's the first step. Right, so what you're going to do next, right, based on this, is once you've downloaded it, you just install it. You're just going to install it, right? You install it using default settings, right? You're going to make sure that this Apache, right, there are things that you need to make sure are checked, right? Apache plus this MySQL, right, MySQL, right, must be checked. It's very important. They're going to give you a list of softwares to check, right? So you're going to click on check for this one right here, which is called MySQL or MySQL, however you want to call it. And then this Apache or Apache, it depends on how you want to call it, but make sure that these two are checked. It is super simple and important. All right, so once you've done that, you just install it, right? So after you install it, then you come and open this something called XAMPP control panel, right, or XAMPP control panel. I'm just going to call it XAMPP just to make it easy. XAMPP control panel. So if I come here to my search, because I already have it, let me exit this right here. I already have it right there. It's called XAMPP control panel right here because I already installed it, right? But once you install your own, you just simply come, it should be installed. Just come here and then type in, come to your search, or come to where your apps usually are, and just come here and search for XAMPP control panel. Click on it and then it's actually going to open, right? You're going to actually use it in this process, right, in connecting our MySQL database, right? It's very important. So basically mine is open. This is basically how it should look like. Once you've opened it, you're just going to leave it the way it is. We'll come back to it later, but just make sure that you have it here. We're going to use it later. Next thing you're going to do obviously is you want to come here to step 2, which is you have to open PHP my admin and create a database, right? So if you already have your database, it's very simple. We'll just work on, if you already have your database, it's very simple. You just work on actually connecting it, right, connecting it to your Android Studio and all. But if you don't have a database, let me show you quickly, just show you how to open up a database. All right, so let me just show you exactly how to open up or how to create a database, beg your pardon. So I'll just come here. You come to your browser, open a tab, and then you want to come here and then type in this right here, right, http column slash localhost slash php my admin. Now before you click on enter, I want you to come back to your XAMPP control panel. You come to where it says Apache, right, Apache or Apache. You come here to it and click on start, Very, very simple. Come here to this MySQL, click on start as well. All right, so both of them are supposed to turn green, right? So both of them are supposed, sometimes it can be yellow, but it will later change to green, but ultimately it should be on green. It is very, very important for this next step, right? Because if I click on it right now, it's going to take us to somewhere, and this place that we're going to actually will not open if this is not turned on. All right, if you don't have this turned on, it's not going to come up. This place you're seeing here is not going to come out. So it's very, very important you turn just these two on. All right, very, very important. So that's basically the next step, right? So you hit enter once you've typed in, which is all of that. So you see the php my admin dashboard, which is this one right here, right? So what you're going to do next is that you're going to click database at the top, right? Under, you're going to click create database and type in this is going to be the name of the database, right? Just going to be the name of the database. So let me just copy it right here, this video. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to click on database at the top, and under we click create database. So what you're going to do is to come to where it says database here, right? This is basically where you're going to come to. All right, so it's actually loading right here. As you can see, I already have database right here. I already have Android underscore DB because I've already created one earlier, but then I can still come here and try and create a new one. So basically what you're going to do, you're going to come here and then create a database. I'm going to name the database this right here, right? It is super simple. I'm going to name it that, right? And then I'm going to click on create. It is super simple. So I think I'm just going to leave this right here, right? It is not important. We're going to leave it right here, as you can see. So I'm just going to click on create right here. All right, so what we're going to do is to move out to the next step, right? We're creating the database quickly. So we're going to click on the new database, right, which is Android underscore DB. From the left bar, we click the SQL tab or structure. Okay, so once you click on it, I believe this should be it. Yeah, so what you're going to do is that make sure you're on structure, right? You can click on the SQL tab or structure, right, but we're going to leave it on structure right here. So the next thing we're going to do is that we're going to name it user. We're going to name it user right here. Very, very important. Let me copy this username right here, and then we're going to add some things, but first we're going to name the table user right here, right? So we're going to click on create. So we're going to leave it at 4 columns. I believe 4 is okay. Yeah, we're going to click on 4 columns right here. Yeah, and then we're going to click on create. Once we do that, all right, so what you're going to do right now, we're going to add the following columns, right? All right, so let's see what's going to happen. Let's say you're going to follow me step by step. I think I have this wrong. Let me adjust this right here. All right, guys, so as you can see, this is actually the table right here. We're just going to walk through this to actually set up this right here. So obviously the column name, the first one is going to be ID. So we're going to take this right here. You can just type in ID. All right, it is super simple. I'm just going to copy this right here. Where's the copy button right here? Copy. I just come here and then put it right here as the first one, which is ID. All right, then this one, the setting should be at int. All right, super simple. Next one should be 11. Set it up to 11. Make sure it is 11. All right, so the next one, right, should be extra, should be primary key plus auto increments. Let's see. Okay. All right, auto increments. All right, so primary key plus auto increments. Let's see. Let's see. So I don't think it falls on that here. So auto increment. Let's see. Auto increment is actually important. Auto increments. It's down. Let's see. Okay. I think it's cool. It was auto increment here. Okay, it should be primary. I believe so. No, it should be primary. Alright, so yeah, primary key plus auto increment. It's actually loading up right here. Primary name, primary, yeah, sure. Um, okay. Alright, so just click on go, primary key plus auto increment. Right, so yeah. Alright, so basically that's it. So just go over to the next one. We'll just go over to the next one, which is name. Right, so put a name right here. We're just setting up the database right here. Alright guys, so as you can see, I just set everything up, right? So I think this should be email. This should be email right here. Right, so basically what I just did was that I just set everything up. Right, so as you can see, I just filled it out: ID, name, email. This one I set it as int. This one is varchar. So you see the option right here, right? The length and value is 100. This one none. But then the ones that I extra, the one I added was this null index, right? Null index I put in primary, and then this is called auto. Right here it's called auto increment. All right, so yeah, I ticked it right here, I checked it. So basically that's just it. And this other one the same as this, right? So 100, and yeah, so basically that's actually it. All right, so this is the setting that I used. You click on save. Right, you now actually save it. Let's come down here, come here to where it says save right here. It is super simple. Save right here, as you can see. So now as well as saving, we're going to go over to the next step, I believe, which is step 4, which is to create fetch underscore user.php. Right, this is what we're going to create, the API endpoint. What you're going to do is that you're going to open zap folder, right? htdocs. We're going to open zap folder, htdoc. Right, we are now going to once we open it, we're going to create a folder named this ai.connect or ai underscore connect. Right, so this is the folder we're going to create. Now I don't know if I already have mine, since I actually have this folder already. So I'll just go inside right here. I'll come here to this local right here, come here to where it says XAMPP right here, and then I'll come to, I believe it's htdocs right here. So if we don't already have it right here, if we don't already have this android.connect, we create a folder. Okay, so I'm just gonna come here and create a folder right here. Let's see, folder. Come here, name the folder this ai underscore connect. Right, super simple. So this basically is a folder that we just created. So once you do that, the next thing you want to do is to actually, inside it, you're going to create a new file called this fetch underscore .php. All right, so that's what you're going to do. Simple. So I'm just going to come here, open right here, right click, come here to this, open text right here, and then I'm just going to click on this fetch underscore user.php. It is super simple. All right, so basically that's it. So what you're going to do is that we're going to paste in a code, this code right here. This is the code we're going to paste inside. Right, you can actually look through it later once you're watching this video the second time. Right, you can actually just take your time and actually look through it, or you can just go over to ChatGPT and tell ChatGPT to give you the exact code for fetch underscore user.php. Right, give it this exact code, ask it to give you the exact prompt to give you, right, to create a fetch underscore user.php, right, the API endpoint in a XAMPP folder. Right, that's what you're going to tell ChatGPT. It's actually going to give you this exact code right here. Right, this is the exact code it's going to give you. So if you can actually look at it and actually get the code right here, connect it. Right, so basically you can, at the same time, you can also ask ChatGPT to help you with this fetch user .php folder. Should give you a prompt to fill inside to be able to create. This is what you're going to tell ChatGPT to be able to create fetch underscore users.php folder, right? That's what you're going to tell ChatGPT. So once you've done that, the next thing you want to do, it is super simple. I'm just going to take this right here, copy it right here. Let's see, I'm going to copy it right here, copy it right here, and then I'm going to try and paste it inside. So yeah, I'm gonna open it in form of maybe let me open it in form of, you can actually use VS Code if you have. You can actually use other ones, right? You can choose another app, but then I'm going to use Notepad since almost everybody has Notepad on their system. So I'm just going to paste it right here and then save it right here, save it, boom, right? So boom. So that's basically it. To move out to what we're going to do, we actually save it, right? Test it by visiting your local browser. So this is what we're going to visit right here. We're going to see if it, you should see something like this. Let's see. I'm going to open a new tab right here, come here and then paste it right here. All right, let's do it again. All right, so if yours is showing something like this, right, it says uncut this blah 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 blah. So basically there's actually an error. Let me show you exactly how to fix this. All right guys, so the reason why this is actually showing this right here is basically because we actually have to android underscore db right here, android database, and it's because I actually had one before creating this second one in this video. What we're going to do right now is I'm just going to click on this one right here, which is the one we actually created in this video. I'm going to go to operation right here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to try to rename it right here, right? I'm going to try to rename database right here. All right, so I'm going to type in rename it's android underscore database underscore main. All right, that's what I'm going to rename it main. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to do, right? And I think that's what is affecting because it's two of them, so it keeps picking the first one, right? So what we're going to do next is I'm going to go over to my folder right here. Remember this folder we created when we went to XAMPP? We now went to htdocs, if you remember. Then if you come here right here, you'll notice that we actually had Android Connect. We created this folder, and then this one right here, this fetch underscore user.php, we'll just come here to notes, right? And then we're going to change this right here to the new one we have, right? We're going to change it right here to the new one that we have right here, which is the android underscore db underscore main, right? Then I'm going to try to save it right here. It is super simple, right? So I'm just going to try and refresh it. Let's see if it's going to work. All right, boom, as you can see it says here success through user. Okay, now normally if it's supposed to work, this is what it's supposed to, you should see success through user, which is what happened. So basically that was the mistake. It's simply because I had already created this folder, I'd done this process before, so that's why they were colliding. All right, so start to change it. So let's go over to the next step, right, which is step 5. Next thing you want to do is to come and actually install Android Studio, right? If you don't have the Android Studio, okay, if you already have it, then it's actually, we'll just go over to the next step. But if you don't have it, what you're going to do is that you're just going to come over to this website here called developers.android.com/studio, right? So if I just quickly go over to it right here, let me exit this, right? So this was just a confirmation, but we don't actually need it. So I'm just going to come here and then developers.android.com/studio. Super simple, right? This is basically where you're actually going to download the Android Studio if you don't have the Android Studio, right? It's actually a very easy and simple process. Let me just show you exactly what to go. I already have mine in my system, so I'm not going to be downloading it, but basically this is actually the site you're actually going to actually download it right here. So you download the version that you want for your system. Let me just walk you through it right here. So what you're going to do right here is that you're going to go down, all the way down, ignore all of this, and then you're going to come down to this place where it says Android Studio downloads, right? So it just keeps scrolling till you see Android Studio downloads. Basically this is it. Now what you're going to do is that you're going to look for the one that best suits your device. It is super simple. So you just come here. If you're using a Windows, I recommend this one, which is the one that is recommended by the Android Studio themselves. You can download this one for your device. If you're using a Mac, you can download this one for Mac. All right. If you're using Linux, go ahead and download this one for Linux. It is super simple. All right. So if you also want to use your Chrome OS, if you have, this is basically, so for people who are using Windows like me, this was what I used. Just clicked on it, and then you click on it, go forward, and you just download it right here. It is super simple. Okay, and then you just follow the installation process. The installation process is actually not that hard. It's actually a very easy and simple process. Right, it is super simple. So you download the version for your system, right? Install it. You can skip the Android version because they're going to ask you to tick some boxes to add some things. I recommend you download everything, because I had some issues whilst downloading mine. I had to fix everything because I skipped some stuff. So I recommend you tick every single thing, including this Android version device. Right, I recommend you click on it. So you just install everything at once. Then you launch the Android Studio. Super simple. We move on to step 6. All right, so we fix the DXK issues, if any. Right, so normally this was an issue I faced. Right, if Android Studio says DSK missing or out of date, sometimes you might face this kind of thing. What you want to do is to go to your file, right? You go to your file, right, inside of your Android Studio. Right here, you go to your file, you go to appearance or behavior. Right, you now go to system settings, you go to Android DSK. Right, you select a valid DSK location, right, something like this, and then you check Android 14. You check Android 14. This is basically, you're going to see something that looks like this, right? It's a drop down that will show you a list of this. You just select this one right here, Android 14 API level 34, or the latest version that they have. Click on apply, click on OK. This is just basically a step you have to go through. If you're having if they tell you something like DSK issue missing, something like that, or the SDK issue missing, right? They tell you something like this is what you should do. You should see a settings button, click on it. You see an appearance and behavior. You should see system settings. Just clicking and clicking till you get to Android SDK. Then you select a valid Android SDK location. And this is basically where you want the SDK to be. Check your Android 14 API level, right? You're going to select, they're going to give you an option, then you click on apply and OK. So basically that's it. That's basically if you're having an issue, right, in the installation process, right? Sometimes some files can be missing. So that's how to fix it. We'll go over to step 7, which is to create a new Android Studio project. All right, so once you fix all of that and you're good to go, you should see where they said new project. Right, click on new project, select empty activity, then you click on next. Actually, let me just show you right here. I think I have my Android Studio right here. So if I come down here to Android right here, it is a very easy and simple process. So I just click on Android Studio in my device. It is a easy and simple process. So just come here and click on it right here. So we're gonna try it out. Okay, so my Android Studio is actually open right here. So I'm just gonna come right here and let's just see hold on, let's just see if I just come right here, let's see. I'm just gonna click on this. Okay, if I come right here, hold on, let's see. So if I come here and click on new right here, I'm just going to click on new projects right here. All right, so basically what you want to do is to come here to empty activity, like I said. All right, so basically you want to select empty activity, then click on next. You set name as this, right, which is my SQL connection app. Right, this is what we're going to name it as right here, my SQL connection app. All right, so just come here, click on the activities right here, which is this one right here. So just click on it right here. We click on next. It is super simple. All right, so next we're going to name it. For this video I'm just going to name it this. Now I might get a little bit of glitch again because I've done this before. So sometimes when you try to do something repeatedly, you might get some glitch. I might have created a file before. Other ways, let's see how it's gonna be. Right, so I believe this is all the settings. Right, so you want to make sure that the language is set to Kotlin, since Java is not showing. So what you want to do is that you want to make sure that the language is set to Kotlin, and then the minimum SDK is Android 8.0. What basically that means is this: you want to make sure that this is set to Android 8.0. Okay, Android 8.0 is very, very important. Like Android 8.0, and then the language is set to this. Yep, and then you want to click on save. I think that should do it. Now I don't know, I should have this folder. If it saves, yeah, then good. It's actually going to open right here. Let me minimize it right here. Let me exit this one. I think this one is actually an extra file, an extra folder. I'm going to exit this one right here. So what's going to happen next is this: we're going to go next to the next step, which should be step 8, I believe. And so once we click on finish, we should go over to step 8. Right now, step 8 is to actually save and verify our project setup. Right, what you're going to do there, you're going to go to file. Right, you're going to click on save all. Right, I'm going to show you how to do that. Then you confirm there's no star beside file tabs. Right, so you wait for Android Studio to finish indexing. Right, so then we'll move over to step 9. We add volley liberally and all of that. All right, so let me show you exactly what I mean. Let me show you exactly what I mean by that. What you're gonna do right now, as you can see, this is actually what came up. This is what's normally supposed to come up. Alright, so if you move over to step 9, with step 8 right here, we're gonna save the file. We're gonna save everything right here. So to do that, what you're gonna do is that we're actually just gonna come down here. I believe it should actually come. Let's see. It should appear somewhere here. Come over to where it says files right here. You click on files. Right, and once you click on files, something is actually going to come up right here. Right, so you come down below to where it says save all and save. So that's basically how to save all, and it's very important. Right, so confirm there's no star beside file tabs. Just basically to know that everything has been saved. So you wait for the Android Studio to finish indexing. All right, so you wait for the Android Studio to finish indexing, right, which basically it has. Right, actually finish indexing. Right, so what you're going to do next is we'll move over to step 9. It's a very easy and simple process, honestly it is. So what's going to happen is that step 9, you're just going to add volley library. So you expand Gradle scripts on the left. You're going to expand Gradle script on the left. Let me adjust this right here. Come back here. All right, so what you're going to do is that you're going to expand Gradle scripts on the left. So you open build.gradle.kindle, right, the app. Then you're going to find where it says dependencies rather. Right, so we're going to add this. Right, we're going to add this code inside implement brackets open column com.android.volley column volley column 1.2.1 and then close parentheses, right, this, and then close brackets. So you have a parenthesis here, I believe, parenthesis, right, a quotation, right, double quotation, beg your pardon, this is a double quotation, right, double quotation, right, so you can see it, implementation bracket open double quotation com.android.volley column volley column 1.2.1 and yeah, colon or quotation and then bracket close. So basically that's it. So what you're going to do right now is, let me just show you how it works. So you open build.gradle.kts. If I come here and open it right here, so if you come down to apps right here, you look through these places right here, right, you come down to apps right here, I believe. So you're going to see, I believe this should be, wait, hold on. Yeah, so this is it. You come to where it says build.gradle.kts. Click on it. It's actually a very easy and simple process. So you look for dependencies, right? Find dependencies and add this, right? So basically that's actually what you're gonna do. Look for dependencies. Let's see, we cannot find dependencies right here. All right, so as you can see, we have dependencies right here. So you're going to put it inside here, right? Just let me put this right here. You're going to put it right here. Let me see this. So it's basically going to come here, right? It's basically going to come here. Not here actually. Here. So you come here directly below this implementation, libs android or, and right above the test implementation. You come here and paste in this right here. All right, so you come here and paste in this. I've already done it before, so if I do it now it might cause a lot of issues, right? But I've done it before. So you click sync now, right at the top right. So then you wait for Gradle to finish syncing. You verify in external libraries, right? So let me show you where to sync. If you don't know where to sync, let me just show you exactly where to actually sync. So if you come down here, you're going to see something that says sync project with Gradle files, right? So you come to where it says sync project with Gradle files, right? So basically that's actually how it works. So you just sync it right there, and it's actually a very easy and simple process right there. So that's how it works. Once you're done syncing and all of that, right, wait for Gradle to finish syncing, then you verify in external libraries. Okay, it is actually a very easy and simple process. You honestly cannot miss it. So the next thing you're going to do, right, we're going to go over to step 10, right? I believe that should be the next step. We're going to go over to step 10. Alright, so step 10 is to connect Android app to PHP scripts, right? So in main activity.kit, you write code to send a request to this https column // 10.0.2.2 / android underscore connect / fetch underscore users dot php. Now one this right here, which is this, the 10.0.2.2 equals to or is the same as the local host for Android emulator. Okay, then use volley to make the request. If you don't know how to do it, you can ask ChatGPT to help you out, right? So you pass the JSON response and display the users. Then once you've done that, right, you can ask ChatGPT for help if you get stuck. You move over to step 11, which is to add internet permission, right? Very, very important. So to add internet permission, you look inside your Android manifest.xml, right above application. You add this right here. Let me All right, for this one right here, this one is actually a bit tricky because if you come over to your Android Studio right here, what you're gonna get is this one right here. This is actually the one you're supposed to go to, Android project system.xml. I believe that should be it. All right, so basically that's where you're supposed to go to, and so yeah, basically that's actually it. So you just come here and then you add this inside of the code, right? You can actually add it anywhere inside. Then you move out to step 12, which is to create your simple UI, right? To create a UI, what you need to do is to open activity underscore main.xml, right? You replace its content with a simple text view or list view, something like this, right? So it's something like, if you, by the way, if you don't know how to create this, right, you can always ask ChatGPT to create this for you, right? It will give you exactly what to put in. But basically mine is list view. Then you go down Android column ID equals to, you know, open double quotation at, which is the at sign, right, plus id slash list view and close quotation, all of that. So basically that's actually how mine is. I'm sure you can see it right there. If you also don't want to use mine, you can always ask ChatGPT to give you yours. Just tell him, explain how to create a simple UI, right, for actually connecting MySQL database to Android Studio, and then it's going to help you out with all of this. Okay, so basically once you've done that, you move on to step 13, I believe, which is the second to the last, right? It's actually a very super easy process. You just modify the main activity.k to display user data in the list views. So to do that, what you're going to do is you simply use array adapter, right, to bind data to the list array adapter. So that's basically how you do it. Then you move on to the last step, which is to test the connection. So what you're going to basically do is you're going to run your app under emulator or real device. You should see the data fetched from your my or MySQL table. Okay, MySQL table, you should see the data fetched from there. So if you see empty results, try inserting users in PHP my admin and refresh. That's if you see an empty result. When you're all done, right, with the 14th step, you should have a fully working Android app, right? Two, um you should have an app that reads from your local MySQL database through PHP. Okay, and then lastly, you should be able to display the data on your app screen, right? You should be able to display data on your app screen. So yeah, basically that's how I personally connect my SQL database with Android Studio and system. So if you got any value from this video, don't forget to leave a like this video and also subscribe for more videos like this, right? It takes time to make these videos like this, so do well to like this video and also subscribe to this channel for more videos like this. And with that being said, guys, I will see you in the next video.